Are you having difficulty with product research? If you're looking for second opinions by sharing screenshots of your product research data, then you are doing product research wrong. In this video, I'm going to let you in on a little secret that no one else is teaching, and I'll show you how to properly set yourself up for success when doing product research. Stick around. What's up guys? Crescent here, and welcome back to my channel where I share with you the best tips and strategy videos just like this one on how to succeed on Amazon private labeling. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Let's get started. Alright, are you prepared to hear some truth? If you're posting screenshots of your product research asking for other people's opinions, then you don't understand what the data means and how to use them and analyze them. Let me ask you a question. When you first played Monopoly or any other game or sport, did you just throw the dice and start moving the pieces around the board? Or did you take a moment to learn the rules so that you can strategically apply them to your advantage? Product research isn't like an Easter egg hunt where you're aimlessly hunting around hoping to get lucky. Everyone else is going to show you how to do product research by showing you how to read the data. But until you understand why you're looking for certain data points, you'll never be successful. For example, why are you looking for a certain price range or a specific sales volume? Until you understand why, you'll always be a mimic or a copycat. You'll never be able to analyze the data on your own. You can try skipping this step by taking shortcuts, or you can be successful. You can't have it both ways. If you don't agree, then you might as well end this video now. Okay, you're still here. So what is it exactly that you're doing wrong and how do you fix it? There are two reasons. The problem isn't your lack of passion or comprehension. The problem stems from before you even started your product research. Most people are just setting up their product research criteria based off of what their coach or mentor suggests without understanding why those numbers or filters are chosen. Now before we get started, let's define a few logistical items first that you'll need to comprehend. It's important that you understand the distinction between revenue, profit, and profit margin before moving forward. Why? Because these numbers will play a key role in determining how you will perform your product research. There are two key elements that affect your profit. Sales volume, which is how many units you sell over a certain time period, and the profit margin, which is how much money you make per unit. And then there's revenue, which is completely different than profit. Revenue is the total amount of money you receive from your sales. For example, let's say you're selling a product for $20 and it costs you $18 to manufacture it. Therefore, your profit margin on each unit is $2. With me so far? So, if you sell 10 units, then you made $200 in revenue. 10 units times $20 equals $200. But you made $20 in profit. 10 units times $2 equals $20. Make sense? Now, if this was too fast, go back and watch this over again. You need to comprehend this 100%, as this is the foundation to doing proper product research. Alright, let's go. The first reason why people are having trouble with product research is they're not clearly defining their goals. Now what do I mean by that? Don't forget that the entire reason you're doing this is to make money. Profit. First, you need to grab a pen and a piece of paper and write down how much profit you realistically want to make per month. Most people are going to say $3,000 so they can quit their day job. So let's go with that. Now why is this figure important? By knowing ahead of time how much profit you need to make each month, you can then break it down to how much profit you need to make per day, and more importantly, per unit. It's vital that you don't skip this step. Okay, so $3,000 a month equates to $100 per day. 3,000 divided by 30, right? So the next logical question is, how do you make $100 profit per day? Well, if your profit margin is $10, then you need to sell 10 units per day. If your profit margin is $5, then you need to sell 20 units per day. Make sense? Now, why is this figure important? Although you may not know what product or niche you're going to get into or the actual cost of the product just yet, you need a starting point for the daily sales volume to start your product research. So how do you pick a profit margin to start with? Well, a good rule of thumb you can use is the rule of thirds. About a third of your sale price will go to manufacturing costs, a third will go to fees, and the last third is your profit. So, if you're aiming for a $10 profit margin, you can expect each unit to cost you $10 to manufacture and ship to Amazon, and to pay $10 in Amazon FBA fees. So, you'd be selling a product at a target price of $30. And now, if you sell 10 units per day, you'll earn $3,000 profit per month. Do you see now how all these numbers are tied together and they just happen to work themselves out if you figured out your goals in the beginning? Let me give you another example. Let's say you're aiming for a $5 profit margin. The rule of thirds will estimate that the cost of each product will be $5 and Amazon fees will be $5. So you'll need to sell the product for $15. If you sell 20 units per day, you'll make $3,000 profit per month. Easy, right? Now, I recommend not going any lower than $5 profit margin. Why? Because remember, you're doing this to make money. Your time and effort cost money, so don't devalue it. Making anything less than $5 profit per unit, in my opinion, you're doing a lot of work for not much return. It also limits your options for advertising as you don't have much room to absorb any additional costs. Remember, at a minimum, Amazon is going to take about $4 to $5 in fees, and your product is probably going to cost you around $4 to $5 to manufacture and ship to Amazon. So if you sell your product for anything less than $15, you're making very little profit. It's just not worth it in my opinion. I personally look for a $10 or higher profit margin. Now for the exciting part and what you've been waiting for. How do you tie all this together with product research? But wait! Didn't I say there were 2 reasons why people are failing? There is, and I'll get to the second one shortly. It's imperative to use a tool to help you do efficient product research. Otherwise, there's no way to organize and analyze the data to properly research each niche in an efficient manner. There are a few options out there for tools, but I personally use the Jungle Scout Chrome extension and the Jungle Scout product database. They just work really well together, especially for beginners. The Chrome extension is a one-time purchase, the light version is all you need, and the product database is a monthly subscription. The startup version is all you need. You can always upgrade these later if you want the extra features, but they're not necessary. And what I do with the product database is I'll purchase it for the months I'm doing product research and then cancel it. Alright, so those numbers you figured out ahead of time, here's where you put them to use. Pull up the Jungle Scout product database. There are only 3 filters we're going to focus on that are the most important. The minimum price, the minimum sales, and the maximum reviews. The minimum price we discussed earlier is $15. Set the maximum price to $50. Why? Because you want to sell a product that is considered an impulse buy. Anything over $50 and people will tend to put more thought, research, and consideration into it. Minimum sales is $300. This is per month. So this breaks down to 10 units per day. There's no need to set a maximum here because you don't want to limit the sales. The more sales there are, the better. The important factor here is the minimum number of sales. And maximum reviews, set them to 75. Now why a maximum of 75 reviews? Competition in a niche is based on the number of reviews each listing has on the first page. You want to find a niche that has demand but that is also not too competitive so that you have a chance of getting your listing ranked onto the first page. Now, why do you want to get your listing ranked onto the first page? 70% of all online sales are made from the first page. So if the competition is too high, you'll have a very difficult time trying to achieve this, if at all. You want to make sure that at least 7 out of the top 10 listings have no more than 75 reviews. Now, this isn't a hard number that's written in stone. There's a little bit of wiggle room there. 75 to 100 reviews is okay. And if it's 8 out of 10, it can be okay too. But 7 out of 10 and a maximum of 75 reviews is a good guideline to start with. It's also important to note that starting out, you'll want to stick with items that fall into the standard size tier. This will keep shipping costs down from your supplier as well as the FBA fees. So set the maximum weight to 2 pounds. Size also plays a role with FBA fees, so make sure the product is small enough to fit inside a shoebox. Otherwise, it'll get bumped up to a large size tier, which has increased fees. Now, I prefer to use these categories, but you can select your own if you want to sell products in other categories. But for me, I don't want to sell clothing or textiles, toys and games, and cell phone accessories is too competitive. Electronics have too many returns, and I don't want to deal with any potential lawsuits, so I stay away from anything that goes in or on your body, such as food, supplements, or creams. Make sure you choose standard size and FBA, FBM, and Amazon sellers. Now, when you do a search through the product database, the listings that appear will meet all of the filters we've set. This is an excellent starting point for product research as it narrows down the millions of products on Amazon down to a manageable amount. If the results are over 5,000 or so, I like to tighten up the search criteria so the list is more manageable. Since you now understand what the numbers mean and why they were chosen, you should be able to tweak them to suit your needs. Alright, so now let's go over some example Jungle Scout screenshots that were posted in my Amazon Facebook group, and I'll show you the second reason why people are having trouble with product research. Alright, let's dive right in. If you're not already a member of my Amazon Facebook group, there's a link in the description. Here we go. So, let's take a look at a few examples posted by our members. Okay, now this is the second reason why most people are failing with product research, and it's very easy to fix. Okay, you already have in front of you your targets that you're aiming for, right? Your monthly sales volume, your profit margin, and the number of reviews that you're trying to hit. Okay, so now when you look at each niche, you're going to look at each column here, the price, sales, and reviews, and make sure that all three meet your criteria. Okay, if any one of these three fails, then this niche doesn't pass your test. You should move on to the next product. Okay, this is where most people are messing up. When they post their screenshots, only one or two will pass the three criteria. It's black or white. There's no gray area here. They got to pass all three in order for you to consider this niche to move on to the next step. All right, so let's look at this first one, posted by Mary. If you look at the price, you want to make sure that the minimum price is at least $15. So look at the average of the top 10 or so and make sure you're able to sell this for at least $10. Okay, and looking at the average price here, it looks like the average is around $20 or more. Good, that's a pass. Now look at the sales. If 300 sales per month is what you're aiming for, then make sure the top 10 or more are averaging 300 units. And it looks like here, it's pretty close, okay? You can see here 700, almost 800, 5, 7, okay? It's pretty close, it's borderline, okay? Now, moving on to reviews. Remember, competition is based on reviews. You want to make sure that at least 7 out of the top 10 have no more than 75 reviews. Okay, so just count those. It's not an average, just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 have less than 75 reviews. So competition is pretty good on this one. Okay, so it passes the reviews, it's borderline on the sales, and it passes on the price. Okay, so let's see what I said here. So this one looks pretty good. All right, so this is one you can possibly consider. All right, let's move on to the next one. Posted by Kim. Again, remember, all three criteria you need to pass. So let's look at the price. Do we have a minimum of $15? If we look at the price here, it looks like average price is around $30. Okay, so that's great. And looks at the sales volume. Sales volume, again, if we're shooting for 300, it needs to average at least 300 out of the top 10, and it does. But sales drops off dramatically here. You can see after the 12th seller, it drops down to almost nothing. So I'd be careful on this one. You want to typically see the sales volume be consistent through the first page and hopefully onto the second page. Okay, you don't want to see it drop off this dramatically. And again, the reviews, you want to make sure that 7 out of the top 10 have no more than 75 reviews. So you can just count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, only 6 have less than 75 reviews, so it's borderline. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just be careful on that one. Okay, but the biggest issue on this one is that sales drops off too quick, so I'd be careful with this one for that. Okay, and that's what I said here. Sales drops off too quickly. So again, I want to reiterate this. All 3 criteria need to pass. Okay, so let's look at this one here. Price needs to be a minimum of $15. And looks like this one is borderline $15. Okay, so be careful on that. You might be able to bundle or improve the product somehow to add value in order to raise the price to make sure you can hit your profit margin. Okay, so make sure that's there. Look at the sales. Again, if it's 300, make sure the average is around 300. And it looks like in the top 10 it could be, but it drops off dramatically again, down into the double digits. So another one to be wary about. And the reviews, again, 7 out of the top 10 have less than 75 reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It does. So it passes on the reviews. Okay, so the problem with this one, the price is borderline too low and the sales drops off too quick. So that's 2 strikes out of the 3. No, I would pass on this one. Okay, and it looks like I said the same thing right over here. All right, now let's see this one by Omre. Now, if you look at the price looks pretty good. Looks like the average is in the high teens, low 20s. Okay, move on to monthly sales. Again, you want 300 or more. Actually looks really good. This one actually maintains it all the way down to the 13th, 14th position. It's over 300. Now, if you look at the reviews, 7 out of the top 10 have to have less than 75 reviews. So let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so again, right away, has way too many reviews. Okay, so this is too competitive. I would skip this one. And looks like this is what I stated for him there. Okay, now one more. Let's see, this one's by Peter. And if we look at the price, price looks like it's a borderline too low on this one. Okay, remember $15 or more. You got to make sure your profit margin is there, guys, because you're doing this to make money. So if you're not making profit, there's no point in doing it. Okay, sales, again, more than 300 per month. And it looks like the top 6 are doing really good and it just tanks. Okay, so I'd be careful there. Reviews, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Passes on reviews, but sales drops off too quick, price is too low. And looks like I said the same thing right there. Okay? All right, let's do one more. Okay, so looking at this one, we'll see if the price is at least $15, and it is. And it looks like it's in the mid 20s, the $25 range, which is great. Sales on this one looks really good. If we're aiming for 300 units per month, it's pretty consistent all the way down to the 18th position, you know? So this one's actually really good. And the reviews, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, borderline competitive, but doesn't mean it's not good. So this one might be viable to move on to the next step, which is product tracking. So let's see what I said here. Not bad, borderline competitive. The numbers look good. All right. Now, if you're wondering where you can get the Jungle Scout tools that I use in this video, there's links in the description. They're affiliate links. I'd appreciate it if you use them. Now, I hope you understand the correct process you should be doing for your product research and why you're looking for certain specific criteria. It's imperative that you understand these concepts before you do your product research so that you can set yourself up for the best chances of success. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up, or share it with a friend. I'd love to hear from you too, so leave a comment or a question below, and if you haven't already, join my Amazon Facebook group. There's a link in the description. And for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.